A sharp increase in New York violence has forced police and City Hall officials to redeploy uniformed officers to high-crime neighborhoods all over town. Still this weekend, at least 50 people were shot in the city, and the Brooklyn Borough President, Eric Adams, is demanding more action as the citywide murder rate is up 11% from a year ago. 2 people were killed and 11 wounded in the borough on Sunday alone. One of the most dramatic incidents occurring in East New York, where 9 partygoers were hit by bullets. Father Edward Mason is the pastor of East New York's Our Lady of Presentation Church. He's with me now. Father, your job as pastor is to shepherd your flock through good times and bad. What are you saying now to parishioners who are nervous about their neighborhood?
Well, the first thing I want to say is to them, we have to be part of the solution. It's our problem, and it affects our people, and we have to all be part of the solution for every possible way. When I arrived in the parish a little over 4 years ago, one of my first weeks there was a shooting in the neighborhood on Pitkin Avenue. A young teenage boy was shooting off the roof of an apartment building. It was a gang initiation type of shooting, and he shot several people and killed a woman who was the mother of I think 12 children.
Wow.
And when this word hit the newspaper and the streets, word got back to me that he had been an altar boy a few years earlier in one of our churches. And my response to the people that Sunday was, he's one of us. We have work to do here. These are our youth that are doing these things. So we have to, strengthen our families, support our families. We have to continue to offer more and better programs for young people, giving them alternatives. We have to fight for better schools in our communities, which is a big part of helping young people live a better life. So we have to be part of solutions that are multifaceted. It's supporting families, it's having programs through churches, it's churches working together, it's supporting all of our schools and our communities as well.
And do you think, how would you want to see your neighborhood police? Now, there's a lot of tension. Stop and frisk is down, the homicide rates are up. How do you want to see your neighborhood policed?
We are all the solution, community members as well as the New York Police Department. And we have to work together. We have to work together. And we have to forge better relationships and communication and better feeling between the police and our citizens. A couple of things have happened in the last few months in East New York, which have, I think, been indication of the good things that can happen. Mm-hmm. 2 of the churches I work closely with, St. Paul's Baptist Church and Hope Christian Center, sponsored an evening where rookie police officers came in and met with young men from their congregations. And they spent the evening together just speaking as human beings, talking about their lives, sharing who they are. Not talking about policing strategies, but just depolarizing and being together as human beings, talking face-to-face, man-to-man. And these types of experiences, I think, can go a long way. We had a program in our own parish, a Lady of Mercy presentation, a youth group, invited in several police officers. One was a parishioner, one was worked with the gang intelligence department in the local precincts. And they just spent the evening together, talking about their life, what it means for them to be a person of faith and a New York City police officer at the same time. And just to kind of break down the barriers that can sometimes exist. The overwhelming majority of police officers are out there putting life on the line to support and help our people. And we have to respond as well and try to work together with the police. So greater communication and greater working together with the local citizens and the local precincts.
And now there's a lot of talk in these neighborhoods that the era of the 70s and the 80s, the bad days of New York, are back. How do you feel about that? Are people voicing that to you as well?
I've heard that term, and unfortunately I'm old enough to have been around when the bad old days were here. Mm-hmm. And we had a solution back then, and I think the same solution is going to work today, and that's looking at community policing. I think one of the great days we had back then was in the early 1990s when I was the pastor of St. John Campus in East New York. The commanding officer at the time dropped off 40 police officers one Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, dropped them off at our parish hall, walked in and said to us, members of the churches working in the community, they're yours, I'll be back to get them at 5 o'clock. And we spent the day together with them. We talked to them about our community, what our expectations are of policing, what our ideas are. And they responded to us. And we were part of their orientation and their training, in a sense, as they started their work in the East New York precinct. I think these kinds of things make a great difference. We can't have police officers looking at every single young person as a potential criminal. They're more likely to be potential victims than they are potential criminals.
So your answer really is forget titles, just go with face-to-face, not police and criminals, but more so everybody neighbors here, everybody working together?
Exactly.
Now, Father Mason, the bottom line here is there's too many guns on the street. Now, you were telling me that you have an initiative. What is it?
Right. A church coalition of East Brooklyn congregations, which my parish belongs to, working with other churches throughout the country right now, in going and trying to lobby municipalities. The majority of guns in this country are bought by law enforcement agencies, government officials. So what we're trying to do is get them to use the strength of their lobby to pressure gun manufacturers to produce safer guns, smarter guns. Every time in this country we have a terrible shooting, in Connecticut or Colorado, gun legislation decreases, and it seems gun rights increase, not decrease. Gun control lessens every time there's a shooting. It's not going to happen legislatively. If we're going to limit the amount of crime committed by guns in this country, it's going to have to be done in a different way. And our way is now to go right to the manufacturers, push the gun manufacturers to produce safer handguns, smarter guns. Sounds strange, smarter guns, but guns that are safer for people to use. And we trying to get state and local government officials to sign on to lobby the gun manufacturers that they're supplying, that they're buying their guns from, to join this effort.
All right, well, that sounds like a great idea. Thank you, Father Mason, for joining with us today.
Thank you.